to 75.
It's just been a good race for us. I guess really we started out in a super speedway era, but we used to run a lot of short track races. And from time to time, we was just a dominant force on the short track. And no matter where we went, the cars handled good, they run good, and had a good pit crew. You know, you had everybody covered. And in a area of 10 years and stuff, we won all these races. I mean, we win, 3 or 4 races in a row, and then might run second or something, and then go back and win another 3 or 4 races.
What's so daring about new Prism car polish? It's not how you put it on, but how you take it off.
Introducing new Prism car polish. It's the first and only spray-away approach to car polishing. Just wipe it on and spray it off. And in half the time, you get a durable shine. No huffing, no puffing, no buffing. New Prism, the only spray-away car polish.
He's Stock Car Racing's all-time winner. He's Stock Car Racing's all-time most popular driver. He's the King, Richard Petty. In this new ESPN home video, The Ride of a Lifetime, Richard Petty and STP, you'll have the chance to come along with me, Dr. Jerry Punch, for a personal visit to Richard's home, and we'll show you classic video footage of Richard's greatest moments. To get your copy, call 1-800-342-3400.
170 laps short of a full distance. The first Union 400 has been stopped because of rain. The red flag is being displayed, and so King Richard and everybody else comes into the pit area and stops, hoping that the rain will go away very quickly.
And here's the cause for the caution flag. This is inside Morgan Shepherd, Sitco Ford. He's following Rusty Wallace. That's Harry Gant up there. All of a sudden we see Michael Waltrip sideways, Harry Gant sideways. And boom, he runs into the side of Harry Gant, goes down across the curb, gets the car righted, puts it in gear, and drives away.
And this time it's real time, and listen. Boy, isn't racing fun?
We see all those yellow tarpaulins down on pit road. That's to keep the pits dry.
Blue tarpaulins.
What did I say?
Yellow.
Did I say yellow?
That's okay. I don't think it's going to last very long. The rain, and the drivers are being asked to stay in their cars. Jerry?
Bob, one driver who just climbed out of his car, though, reluctantly, is Michael Waltrip. His Pennzoil Pontiac heavily damaged in the garage area. Michael, well, looked to be a good day early on, but the car very competitive now is over. What happened?
Well, I don't, I thought when you got old, you were supposed to get patient. And there's an old guy driving a green car. I'm not going to call him a turd because he isn't. He's a good guy, but I don't know what he is right now. He just really upset me because he ran over me from behind for no reason. We were all bunched up, nowhere to go, and he clobbered me. So it's a shame. I promise you, Jerry, there ain't a better bunch of guys that work on race cars than the Bahari team. I'm proud of all of them, my owner, Chuck, especially Pennzoil. They've stuck with us through a lot, and we've had it all happen this year. And I just thank the Lord for Pennzoil and for the fact that we didn't get hurt today. And we'll go to Martinsville. We need to go to Easter first. We'll take Easter Sunday off and have a good chat with the Lord and try to get him to help us a little bit. And then we'll go to Martinsville and try to rebound. It's really disappointing.
Indeed, the last 2 weeks, both the Waltrips looking for a little bit of luck. That's all they need. They got great race cars. Let's check in with John Kernan.
Jerry, up on this end, we're looking for some blue skies. We don't have it yet, but the dark cloud is basically passed over the speedway. It has quit running here on the front stretch. In fact, the raindrops that we could see just a few minutes ago, leaving their marks on the concrete here on pit road, have now dried up. I don't expect it to be a very long caution. As we look in the background where on the horizon where that dark cloud came from and moved through right now, don't see anything really too threatening, just some cumulus clouds that look like they're going to come through. So looks like we'll probably get this race in.
How you like that, huh, Benny? Cumulus clouds.
Is everyone down there a weatherman?
Well, as John indicated, I don't think it's going to last very long, but they have put the cars on pit road, and now I guess we can release Jerry and John to go to the hot dog stands, as Benny did yesterday during the short red that we had during the modified race. We're Winston Cupping this afternoon. The race is stopped at the end of 230 laps.
top-of-the-line parts, expert advice. That's your Big A Auto Parts store.
Big A, the sign that keeps your car running right.
At GMC Truck, our only business is trucks. That has been for over 80 years. A dedication to truck strengths and values to keep in mind. Because when you need to haul something, tow something, carry precious cargo, find new trails, or simply ride high and proud, there's nothing quite as strong as a truck. GMC Truck, the strength of experience.
There's a way to virtually guarantee a safer suspension system. A way to eliminate pulling, shaking, and loss of control. It's the suspension technology of Midas. Diagnostic tools so advanced, they can pinpoint the problem. So you know your car's fixed absolutely right. And for a limited time, buy one shocker strut, get the second for 50% off. For a safer suspension, nobody beats Midas.
Back at North Wilkesboro Speedway, let's take a look once more inside the NASCAR truck here in the garage area and what's actually happening with the weather radar. Again, to orient you, we have Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina here. This is North Wilkesboro Speedway right here. This is the weather front I showed you a little bit ago that has basically moved by the speedway. But the scattered fronts that were to the west of us have now consolidated into a solid line of thunder showers. Now, the good news is this solid line seems to be just moving to the south and east of the speedway. We are just on the edge of this. It is clearing right now with just a few sprinkles left. Apparently, what we are told, they're very optimistic to get back to green flag racing very shortly. Hopefully, this will continue to move in an easterly fashion. If it moves north at all, we could have solid rain for a lot of the afternoon. Bob?
Jerry, is a lot of that there on the radar anomalous propagation?
Yeah, it's colored crayon too, Bob. It looks like someone turned a 3-year-old loose with a green crayon, but this is basically all. You take some more medication, Bob, for your cold, will you?
No, that's what they call it when sometimes you see radar and it shows a blob of something that's actually echoes off other things, and that's what they call it. Anyway, here's a Fran
summary, okay?
A Fran Field summary. While we are under caution and the cars begin to move back out onto the racetrack. A long time ago, I started to mention, and I was interrupted by a caution period, that we congratulate this guy sitting next to me on my left because Benny Parsons took a bride last night, went out to the old homestead, had a great barbecue, and Benny and Terry became man and wife. And all of us at ESPN wish them the best.
That's pretty neat. I appreciate all of you coming out had Ned had birthday parties with your grandchildren last night.
Yeah.
He wasn't able to be there. We missed you, Ned, but understood why you were with the grandkids.
Sorry I couldn't be. Carson and Natalie having their birthday party.
Just to tell you what kind of a guy he is, that they were originally planning the wedding, in Lake Tahoe or someplace in early June, but because all of us were here and because so much of Benny's family is still living here in this area, they decided to have it last night. We appreciate being able to share it with you.
Well, thank you.
Well, the cars are on the racetrack and probably have to get a little bit of moisture out of it first before we go to green. Harry Gant is on pit road along with Morgan Shepherd. Now Harry moves out as we get set to resume the first Union 400 in just a moment.
The Suzuki Intruder. She's beautiful, and she cooks.
It's the Budweiser Pit Stop with Bill Elliott.
Hi, I'm Bill Elliott. These cars and their engines pack a real punch. And like any big beast, it takes a lot of fuel to keep them running. Gas mileage varies depending on the track and the gearing of the car's engine. But generally, we average anywhere from 3.8 to 7.5 miles per gallon. The octane in our fuel is also different from what you buy. It ranges from 103 to 105 octane. It's also closely regulated by NASCAR officials. Our octane burns cleaner and faster, giving the car a lot more power.
We respected what Phil was doing, but we weren't going to let him know that.
Look, if you want to work out, lift weights.
Like a normal person, huh? Ride a bicycle.
Or swim.
Yeah, go bowling or do something.
Something safe.
Just be there, all right?
Only one beer has the taste as genuine as the people who drink it. Budweiser.
That was cool. Yes, that was great.
That was crazy.
We got it, we got it, we got it, we got it, you got it, you got it, you got it, you got it, we got it, we got it.
If you've got to have it, there's no better time to get it.
We got it, we got it, we got it, you got it, you got it, you got it.
The Suzuki We've Got It flexible financing. Come and get it.
The race is just resumed as Dale Earnhardt is the leader of this race with Jeff Bodine running second and then Alan Kulwicki, and out front of Dale Earnhardt, both Dick Trickle and Bobby Hillin.
They've worked all for a long time, Bob, trying to get back in the lead lap, and they are out there right now. Trickle is beginning to pull away a little bit, so he needs a caution. He'll be right back in the thick of this thing.
Do you think Childers, Chocolate Myers, Will, Kirk, all those guys wasn't doing a rain dance just a moment ago? Look here, Earnhardt pulls over. Let's get Bodine the outside. Can Jeff do anything with it?
Good run for Jeff today. He now comes.
Something's wrong with Earnhardt's car, guys. I mean, something is wrong.
He slowed off a little suddenly there.
He did.
About turn 2.
It's like he's lost a cylinder or something.
Boy.
Yeah, going up the straightaway, he's not as strong as the other, as those Fords that just went by. Of course, well, the Fords fans say, well, they've been strong all year down the straightaway, but I think there's too much of a difference here now. I think you're right.
Looks as if the bad luck for Dale Earnhardt is continuing. And this is Jeff Bodine's first lead of 1992. First time he's led a lap.
Yeah, Dale Earnhardt has definitely lost a cylinder. Something wrong. The car, just the engine isn't running like the normal run. That Illinois, Daniel Lawrence, those guys do a great job.
Kulwicki working on him there. Let's go to the pits and Jerry Punch, and we'll find out about Earnhardt's car.
RC, he seems to be slowing a little bit. Is there a problem with the car?
No, he hasn't said nothing. We don't know if maybe knock the toe in out a little when he hits that 6-6 car or not.
We'll keep an eye on Dale Earnhardt down here. They're trying to wait. We won't keep Richard Childress off the radio so he can listen to his driver when he comes by. They're trying to find out themselves what the problem may be. They're concerned about possibly a steering problem or a towing problem with the front tire.
Here's Kulwicki on the outside of Jeff Bodine. Bodine has been trying to pass the 66 car of Hillin. Can't get on the inside. Now Kulwicki is going to try to go on the outside.
Well, we saw him pass Earnhardt a while back on the outside. It took him a long time to do it, but he did stay up there and pass him.
Back in the pack, some real racing going on. No, well, let's go back to the front now. We'll stay with this battle for the lead. And now Kulwicki again trying to get his nose to the inside of Bodine, but couldn't do it.
Kulwicki has the fastest car here today if he can get in front. But again, these fellows, through pit stops, what have you, they're up there. And here we go back in the pack again. That's the 10 car, Jerry Cope, Ernie Irvin, the 4, Yellow 4. Rudd, the 5, the 12 cars, Hutch Strickland, all these cars. Kyle Petty's in there. There's Terry Labonte, who ran so well early on.
And now they put a lap on Bobby Hillin, at least Jeff Bodine does. And here comes Alan Kulwicki to also put a lap on. And Earnhardt appears to be moving okay again.
Now the car seems to be running okay. I think that these fellas were held up behind the 66 car. That's one reason that Earnhardt was able to catch him. But still, if he's on 7 cylinders, it doesn't appear as he is on 7 cylinders now.
And fellas, the sun has come back out here now, which might change for some, make the setup better for some, make it worse for others.
Yeah, it's been a variably cloudy day. We've had sunshine, clouds, a little bit of rain. Now the sun is shining again. So it's very difficult to set a car up for competition here today.
Look at Jeff Bodine. He's put 3 or 4 car links on Kulwicki.
And we saw Dick Trickle in the picture there in just a moment. He's pulled out a pretty good lead there over Bodine. Of course, Trickle is back in the lead lap now, trying to stay there, hoping for a caution. He got a lap down as a result of being a victim of circumstances on the spin earlier when Kyle Petty and Davey Allison got together. Has raced hard to try to get back in the lead lap, and he has done it now.
Brett Bodine and Ricky Rudd are battling for position for 7.
Remember, Brett Bodine was leading the race when Harry Gant and those fellows had the problem up there, the caution flag. He then went in the pits and changed 4 tires. The other fellows stayed on the racetrack. I'm talking about Earnhardt, Kulwicki, Jeff Bodine. Now Fred has to fight his way back through the track.
Seventh and eighth. Ricky Rudd, retired Chevrolet.
And right behind him now, Ernie Irvin and Kyle Petty are locked in a duel.
Irvin was able to get by Kyle Petty. And that's Terry Labonte directly in front of those guys.
So it is Labonte in 10th and Irvin in 11th. Now they're the 21 and 33 cars. Both of those, of course, damaged in that incident up there in turn number 4 a few laps ago.
Don't seem to be affecting them too much, Bob. They both made numerous pit stops when during the caution. They could not work on those cars during the red flag period we had. But during caution laps, they were coming in and making some adjustments on them, so they seem to be in pretty good shape right now.
Let's go back up front and check how Jeff Bodine is doing, holding off Alan Kowicki, and quite well.
He's holding his own. That's right. Nothing has changed in the last 3 or 4 laps since we left this race.
Down a 3-4 car length advantage for Jeff Bodine. And there's third place Earnhardt, not too far behind. In fourth place, Rusty Wallace. Fifth is Allison.
Our current Mr. Cup point leader up in fifth spot, so he's got a good run going.
And we might mention that he has not sought relief help from Jimmy Hensley. He instead is still out there. Jerry?
Well, you consider when Davey Allison could not even get in his car 2 days ago to qualify it, he had to get Jimmy Hensley to qualify the car. Hensley did a great job qualifying at 7th, and now the miracles of modern medicine. He is wearing a small device about the size of a small tape measure with batteries in it to help alleviate the pain. He has not asked once to get out of the race car. In fact, he's right now running in the top 5.
And they have always said that when you have pain before a race, once you get in there, the adrenaline starts pumping. And if you're especially running in fifth spot, the car's working well, you don't feel that pain.
Exactly. Yeah, said so many times, race car's best medicine you get. Maybe that's where you need to be, Bob.
I need to get down there, don't I?
Oh, yeah, you've got rid of that cold and sore throat and all that today.
I doubt it.
Might have got rid of you.
Yeah. Jeff Bodine remains the leader of this first Union 400 over Alan Kowicki. We'll be right back.
It's the lifeblood of your engine. That makes your oil filter your engine's most vital organ. That's why Fram keeps going the extra mile to make the best protection even better. The Fram Extra Guard oil filter. Unique glass fiber paper stops more dirt than any other filter for the best protection ever. Fram Extra Guard. American or import, it's an extra lease on life.
The performance of a Chevrolet is determined by many factors. We consider volumetric efficiency, coefficient of drag, yaw damping, polar moments of inertia, induction velocity, camber, caster, bounce, rebound, thermodynamic load, slip angles, linkage arrangements. And at Chevrolet, we also take into account the EHA factor.
The cars more people depend on.
Welcome back to live coverage of the first Union 400 Winston Cup race from North Wilkesboro Speedway in North Carolina. 259 laps into this race with Jeff Bodine showing the lead. Our Speed World coverage is being brought to you by Fram Oil Filters. Fram, you can pay a little now or a lot later. And by Chevrolet, the heartbeat of America. The cars more people depend on.
Something's wrong with the 7th car. He is starting to fall back. His car's been fast all day long. Now Jeff Bodine pulling away, and Earnhardt is catching him. So either the car's not handling or he's having some type of problem. I saw him up high just a moment ago, up in 3 and 4.
I believe it's set up, Benny, on the car right now. So we mentioned the sun is back out. The track has changed from what it was. It was cloudy there for a long time when he was running so good. Don't know if the sun's hurting a little bit. The car might be a little bit tight, pushing for him. But don't know. We'll have to check and see.
Two guys who have been running with each other just about all race. In fact, running sometimes a little too close to each other. Morgan Shepherd and Harry Gant.
These two fellas, all that front end damage we see on the car, Morgan's damage came when he hit the 33 car. The 33 car hit the 30 car, I guess.
They're running 12th and 13th.
Well, 2 of the 3 cars, 2 of the 3 cars hit the 33 car. The 33 car hit the 30 car, I guess. They're running 12th and 13th.
13th.
2 of the 3 cars hit the 33 car. The 33 car hit the 30 car, I guess.
of them on the lead lap. And Ernie Irvan spins in turn 4.
He spins around, no contact so far. The caution flag is out.
But down on the inside of the track, that's a good place to spin to because the cars have a tendency to go out as they come off of that turn, so he was out of harm's way.
And Dick Trickle did, in fact, get his lap back in that Snickers Ford.
Yeah, he's glad to see this caution.
So that will now put Dick back on the lead lap, and we'll have 15 cars that are on the same lap as the leader. Ernie Irvan spinning down in turn number 4 and bringing out our 7th caution of the day. And from the indication is that perhaps the 42 car got into Ernie Irvan.
Yeah, we see the 42 car. We don't know what happened.
Anyway, here come the front runners down pit road. Dr. Jerry Punch will be at Alan Kulwicki's pit.
Remember last week at Bristol, Tennessee, Alan Kulwicki's car would begin to go away and suddenly the caution flag would come out and he'd get a break. That's exactly what happened just now. His car was beginning to slow down. The tires were going away. They had a bad setup, and now they get a caution flag. 7 on the bottom of your screen. That's Kulwicki. Left side's now on the motorcraft board of Jeff Bodine as the Bud Moore crew working up there. As the Bodine crew finished their turn, let's check in at John Curtin up in the Harry Gant pit.
We're on the left side now before tire change. You can see all that front end damage. It affected Harry out on the racetrack. He was holding his own on the lead lap. And speeds down pit road in front of Kyle Petty. Morgan Shepherd also out.
Making sure not to exceed the speed limit, which is 30 miles an hour.
And Rusty Wallace, I believe, won the race out of pit road. Davey Alice was second. Earnhardt third. And I think Jeff Bodine fourth that time. Bodine had a great pit stop, but the other Wallace's crew must have been even better.
Yeah, they were. They got out of there in a hurry. The others were far down at the end of pit road. We'll see it here. See, there's Earnhardt's car. There's Rusty going by. And then Davey Allison and Jeff Bodine, it looks like beat Earnhardt to that line.
And now NASCAR is putting the 15 car up in the 3rd spot.
By just about a half a car length, Rusty Wallace will be the leader when we go back to racing at North Wilkesboro, North Carolina.
Diamond World Championship Rodeo stampedes to the Hampton Coliseum on April the 16th through the 19th. Thursday, April the 16th is Eagle 97 Bargain Night. Friday is Thompson Ford Military Appreciation Night. Saturday is WCMS Hat Night. Sunday is WVEC TV Family Day. Cowboys, Cowgirls, Wild Brahma Bulls competing for national titles. Diamond World Championship Rodeo, April the 16th through the 19th at the Hampton Coliseum. Don't miss it.
At the Van House, we carry a complete line of leisure lift carts, the easy, convenient way to go where you want. Built for comfort, the Pacesaver easily operates with controls at your fingertips. Rugged and stylish, the Pacesaver safely powers you up inclines and operates smoothly indoors and out. Pacesaver easily disassembles to fit in car trunks or vans. So before you buy a 3-wheel cart, compare the features and price. You'll be surprised at Leisure Lift's affordability. Available at the Van House in Hampton, where we service what we sell.
It is tipped and caught by Tillman.
The waddle.
And it's gone!
135 laps to go before the checkered flag falls on the First Union 400 at North Wilkesboro Speedway. The cars are lining up, getting ready to go back to green from our 7th caution flag of the afternoon. Rusty Wallace will be up front with Davey Allison second, then Jeff Bodine, Dale Earnhardt, Alan Kulwicki, Sterling Marlin, Brett Bodine, Ricky Rudd, and Terry Labonte.
Michael Walter back on the racetrack. Pennzoil Pontiac, they've repaired the damage the best they could and put him back up, trying to get all the points he could. He can, I should say. Elmo Langley pulls that Pontiac safety car off, and Rusty Wallace will bring him down as the leader.
Green is out. This is riding with Mark Martin, the Folgers in-car camera. The Valvoline Ford driven by Mark as he is a lap down, but between first place Wallace and second place Allison.
probably see those RPMs a little bit higher now with new tires on the car. Yep, up to 8,300 there.
And Alan Kowicki is on the move. He's passing Dale Earnhardt.
Well, on the outside, just drove by. And we saw him earlier not able to do that. So, quite a mystery. He's up in the 4th spot now. And directly in front of him is Jeff Bodine in 3rd place, the Motorcraft Ford. Jeff Bodine, Alan Kowicki. Kowicki still getting a great jump off the 2nd corner.
Rusty Wallace still leads. Davey Allison is 2nd.
And a battle here. Ricky Rudd and Bill Elliott, Brett Bodine, the 94 of Labonte, and the 22 of Sterling Marlin leading the way.
Bill Elliott is a lap down. There's riding forward.
Marlin Labonte trying to get by Brett Bodine. Here again, right back behind these two, watching.
Marlin is 6th, and Rudd trying to take that spot away from him. Meanwhile, behind those guys, another side-by-side battle involving Labonte and Brett Bodine.
Ricky Rudd made the pass on Sterling Marlin and moved into the 6th position, dropped Marlin back to 7th.
And Labonte now makes the pass on Brett Bodine. Harry Gant's going to give it a shot.
Yep, Bodine's caught on the outside. Harry Gant is going to sneak inside of Brett in turn 3 and take another position away from Brett, so he'll want to hit that quicker State Ford back down on the inside as quickly as possible.
Yeah, he moved very quickly to get it.
Another Fram Field summary for you. The top 5, Wallace, Allison, Bodine, Kowicki, and Dale Earnhardt.
The next 5 was Sterling Marlin, Ricky Rudd, Terry Labonte, Brett Bodine in there again. There's a race for 3rd place. Jeff Bodine in the 15 and Alan Kowicki. They're the top 14 cars. On the lead lap, Martin, the first car 1 lap down. It's Irvin, Strickland, Millen, Elliott, Jerry, Darrell Waltrip, and Ted Musgrave. Then we go to the cars just 2 laps down. Greg Saxon, Dave Martins. Only 2 cars, 2 laps down.
Several of these cars here in 29th and 30th, so many laps down, were involved in crashes. Jimmy Means is out of the race, and Richard Petty is also involved in a crash and is 114 laps behind. Jerry has an update on Dick Trickle.
Bob, Dick Trickle in the Stickers Ford is the 14th and final car on the lead lap. He is the first car in front of Rusty Wallace, our leader. But a minute ago, a close call for Trickle. The car just simply shut off coming out of turn 4. The car rolled back. He switched to backup ignition. Now the car is refired and running again, but he lost a lot of time. He's only about 15 car lengths in front of the leader.
Trickle's had a tough day. He's managed to get himself back on the lead lap and is still there, but it hasn't been an easy road for him. Now Kowicki is bearing down on 3rd place Jeff Bodine.
Bodine in the Bud Moore Motorcraft Ford having a very good run, maybe the best run of the year for him.
And Bud Moore has more short track wins for Ford than any other car owner in the modern era. 9.
Once again, we're watching the Ford telemetry. Let's see how slow he gets down this time. 8, 75. Now he starts accelerating up the back straightaway. 100, 112, 116 miles an hour before he lets off, gets on the brakes.
Rusty Wallace is one of those guys looking to turn his season around. He hasn't finished in the lead lap since last fall at North Wilkesboro. It's been 10 races, but right now, Rusty Wallace is the leader in the Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac at North Wilkesboro. We'll be right back.
Hey, I like to save money as much as the next guy. But what are the odds that there's going to be a sale on the parts you need when your car breaks down? Babe, it's not going to happen. That's why I go to AutoZone. I mean, sure, you could wait around for a couple weeks and maybe beat their price by a few pennies someplace else. But I don't want to wait for a sale when I need a part. Now, what more could you ask for?
What makes a mountain man a mountain man? Let's find out. Must a mountain man be a big burly guy with an axe? A man of steel? Must a mountain man even be a man? Actually, the only requirement is the right beer. Smooth Busch beer or easy drinking Busch Light. So, head for the mountains and learn what makes the typical mountain man anything but.
Getting to know you.
I drove literally every car in the same class, and it boiled down to I wanted a Geostorm.
Guys like a girl that knows how to drive a stick.
There's 140 horses in here. Can you...
Hello? Horses?
The cockpit's laid out like a jet.
You don't have to be a race car driver to drive a Storm, but you sure feel like one.
Get to know the new 140 horsepower Geostorm GSI right around the corner at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
Getting to know you.
If this car had wings, it would fly.
Welcome back to ESPN Speed World today at North Wilkesboro, North Carolina Speedway for the first Union 400, being led by Rusty Wallace in the Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac. Running in second spot is Davey Allison, then Jeff Bodine, Alan Kowicki, and Dale Earnhardt. Look at his year compared to last year. Not nearly as successful in 92 as he was in 1991. And here's Davey Allison.
Getting a little closer.
Yep.
I was told down in the garage area that Roger Penske came to Mooresville this week. Rusty Wallace, they all had a team meeting and said, okay, guys, let's get this thing going. Let's pull together. They even practiced some pit stops. And the result, he's leading the race. Jerry Punch, what you got to tell us?
That's exactly it, Benny. Roger Penske, Rusty Wallace, Don Miller, the three principals who own this racing team, the Miller and Genuine Draft Pontiac. They met with all the team members early in the week. They have all worked so hard. Maybe they're working too hard, but the crew said we're going to knuckle down. We're going to get better and better in the pits. They blamed themselves for some poor pit stop last week at Bristol. Well, just a minute ago, you saw what an outstanding pit stop they had here, and it was even better than we realized. They're pitting about halfway up pit road. They changed 4 tires. Got Rusty Wallace back on the racetrack before anyone else, including the Earnhardt crew. And of course, that's putting up front where he's leading right now.
Only one top 10 finish for Rusty Wallace so far in the 1992 season, and that came just last Sunday in the Bristol race where he finished in 9th position. So, Rusty, what are you doing to turn your luck around in 1992?
The biggest thing we've been trying to do is just organize and get everything back on track. We got the personnel, we got the cars, we got the motors. We just haven't had any luck. And so we're trying to get our luck back up, get our pit stops good. Roger came in town Wednesday, Penske did, and we had a long talk, and I think we'll be much, much better from here on out.
I think we're pretty well established that Penske was in North Carolina last Wednesday.
Yeah, he was. He visited the Rusty Wallace shops, and it must have paid off. He must have said something that inspired them.
And every time it rains, Rusty does well, you know. Remember last year, the races he won both got rain in them.
The 1989 Winston Cup champion, the 1984 Rookie of the Year in Winston Cup. Well, our congratulations to Greg Dugan, or Duggan, whichever it is. Anyway, he's a 39-year-old individual who lives in Oviedo, Florida. And he is today's winner in the Gillette Halfway Challenge Sweepstakes. He correctly identified Dale Earnhardt as a leader of the halfway point and won a Chevrolet Lumina Z34. Now, entries are now being accepted for the next race. Call 1-900-436-7000. The call will cost 95 cents, and you must be 18. Or you can send your name and telephone number to Gillette Halfway Challenge, Post Office Box 1868, South Hackensack, New Jersey, 07606.
Well, Ray, congratulations.
Yeah.
Tooling off in a new Z34.
That is so easy. I wish we were eligible for that, Betty and Ned. What do you think? We can.
Be nice, but
we'd probably be working when they call. We wouldn't be able to answer to go to the phone. So.
I'd probably forget who it was, too.
Here's the 3rd and 4th place cars. Jeff Bodine and Motorcraft Ford and Alan Kowicki and the Hooters Ford. Kowicki has just not been able to do anything with Bodine. Now, Up ahead of them, of course, is Davey Allison and Rusty Wallace, who are running first and second. And here is Dale Earnhardt, who seems to be closing in a little bit, fellas, on this board. And Ricky Rudd has definitely closed in on Dale Earnhardt.
He's right on Earnhardt's back bumper, and that is for the, fifth spot.
Yeah, Earnhardt is running fifth, and Rudd is running sixth. Rudd was back about a half a straightaway behind Earnhardt about 15 laps ago, so he has run him down.
Another Autolite field summary for you, showing that Rusty Wallace leads Allison, Bodine, Kowicki, and Earnhardt in the top 5.
6 through 10 is Ricky Rudd, Marlon Labonte, Gant, and Brett Bodine, a 10th place car.
There are less than 100 laps to go in this race. And we have a spin.
The 21 car is, we're looking from the inside. I guess he saw a half spin or something. There's still no caution flag.
Well, he's apparently got all the way sideways and saved it, and so no caution. Oh, good bumper cam shot. Face full of Oldsmobile.
Rick Mast, here comes Dick Trickle up on the outside of Rick Mast as he tries to pick his way up through traffic.
Look how this camera is bouncing. You suppose he's got a, I don't know if it's a camera car, what kind of problem he has, but look at it bounce. Maybe our camera has come, the bracket's loose or something, and it's bouncing up and down.
Yeah, the car doesn't seem to be bouncing that much, although here comes Dick Trickle down on the inside.
That was a scary shot.
It was a scary shot, wasn't it?
Man. Here's John Kernan with an explanation.
Morgan's car is extremely loose. You can see all that front end damage. They think they knocked the toe out just a little bit. It's very, very loose right now. And I saw him come out of turn 4 just a minute ago. He got it sideways, saved it. And that car is just really, the rear end's kicking way out when he comes out of the turn. So he's definitely having a very bad problem right now.
He has a handful, as they say. He's the 13th spot, Morgan Shepherd.
Ooh, you saw him catch the thing, but he did catch it.
Yeah.
Rick Mast closing in on him.
I've been in that situation, got behind on my steering, as they used to say.
Rusty Wallace, not behind with his steering. He is in front of everybody as he leads this first Union 400. We'll continue our coverage now under partly sunny skies in a moment.
The technology developed on the track for the awesome 650 horsepower Lumina NASCAR champion goes into cars like this. The 1992 twin dual cam V6 Chevy Lumina Z34. Sorry, decals not included. Chevy Lumina Z34 from the heartbeat of America. And now it's easy to win with a heartbeat.
Mark and my relationship goes way past business. I'm sure in a previous life he and I were twin brothers. Throughout the race, the driver and crew chief communicate. The driver complains about the car or brags about the car. It's the crew chief's job on pit stops to make whatever fixes he can to help the driver's predicament. Everyone has about the same access to equipment and technology, but the people who rub on it the most and think the most of it and think about it the most will end up winning the race.
April showers bring untamed power to ESPN. A storm of powerful sports in April on ESPN.
No, the trouble is not in your set. Kyle Petty is going the wrong way on the racetrack. He spun up in turn number 3, brushed the wall. Is now trying to get the car headed in the right direction as he is the reason for our 8th caution. Ooh, nice job of spinning that car around.
Well, he's now trying to not go another lap down, but there goes the pace car and all the other cars by him. Apparently the car died when he spun it around, and he can't get it refired again. So tough break for Kyle Petty in the mellow yellow Pontiac. Everybody else coming down pit road right now.
More pit stops as Jerry Punch is now positioned in Rusty's pit. Jerry?
And we'll see if Eddie Dickerson, Bill Wilbur, and the rest of this Miller Genuine Draft crew can duplicate their efforts of just one caution to go, as they will try to service him and get him back out as quickly as possible. The right front tire rolls away. The 2 on the top, 15 on the bottom, as you're watching Jeff Bodine's Motorcraft crew going to work the Budmore team. Now, left side tires going on the Pontiac of Rusty Wallace. Left side tires likewise on the left side. Davey Allison's left side tires. The Hamlin Ford Thunderbird crew now putting left side tires there. And here's the battle back for turn 1. And Davey Allison looks to be the first car with Rusty, and then Bodine, and then Earnhardt.
Yep, that is accurate, Jerry. Good job there. Davey did win the battle out of the pits, followed by Rusty and Jeff and Dale and Ricky and Harry and Alan. Now all of those who were not on the lead lap come in for their pit stops. Now, just before the caution, look at the interval between Rusty Wallace, who was the leader, and Jeff Bodine. Laps 298 through 302. And you can see that Bodine began to eat into that lead before we had the caution.
Well, in 5 laps, he gained almost 1 second on Rusty Wallace. It looks like it takes just a little bit of time for Jeff Bodine to get his car going.
Under our 8th caution of the day at North Wilkesboro, stay with us. We'll be back with more right after these messages.
Top-of-the-line parts, expert advice. That's your Big A Auto Parts store.
Big A, that keeps your car running right.
Buick introduces the new supercharged Ultra for 1992 with 20% more power. 205 horsepower to be exact. Ultra truly ranks among the world's finest luxury performance sedans. The new 1992 supercharged Ultra from Buick, the new symbol for quality in America.
Look for the sign.
Professional service.
Red, blue, and white.
A friendly face.
It's a good sign.
Your Big A Pro.
Keeps your car running right.
Nice to know he uses top quality Big A parts.
Big A, the sign that keeps your car running right.
Someone to depend on when you need to depend on your car.
The First Union 400 live on ESPN Speed World on this what is now a nice sunny Sunday afternoon. Just had a round of pit stops, and Barry Dotson, the new crew chief, on Derek Poe's car, wearing our crew cam. Derek with a bit of a problem getting out of the pits. The crew did a great job.
You know, Barry Dodson was talking to Derek Cope as he brought the jack around and put it on the car. Did you see the hand up there? He was talking to Derek Cope.
I tell you, Derek Cope was glad to see this caution come out. He was really struggling back there. He's been in the lead lap all day, but he was having a tough time right before the caution came out.
And Jerry Punch has this report on the leader, Davey Allison.
Remember at the top of the show we told you Davey was wearing an electrical nerve stimulating device on his right lower back to try to keep the muscles stimulated so he would not have cramps and spasms and most importantly pain. The pain in the back isn't there, but just a minute ago during the caution he has complained of a cramp in his right upper thigh and outside of his right leg. So we'll be watching that. Davey said he thinks it's going to be okay, but I'm not sure he can hang on. We'll have to wait and see.
Elmo Langley brings the pace car in. The green flag comes out on lap 318.
Ernie Irvin, the Kodak Chevrolet on the inside, trying to get a lap back. He gets by Davey. I got to hope for a caution flag so he can go all the way around the racetrack to the back of the field.
Darrell Waltrip is in 15th position. He's the first car not on the lead lap. He's the 4th one there in line. some action behind the leader. Now we're with Mark Martin in the roof cam. It's Bill Elliott, of course, in number 11, who has been off the pace all day. Gant and Kowicki are racing for position.
This is position. Kowicki's on the outside. He's got Harry Gant up behind Bill Elliott. Bill Elliott is moving over and letting these faster cars go by. That is not going to help Harry Gant because Kowicki's going to be able to get by, I believe. He does.
Kind of expected better things for Bill Elliott today. He's currently running in 17th position, and he's a lap down. Started in 20th. Of course, Junior Johnson's record we have already documented here at North Wilkesboro, but Bill has just not been competitive today.
Oh, he has stayed one lap. He went a lap down early, Bob, in about the first 100 laps, but has stayed just one lap down. But really, the car is not working up to their expectations.
And there are a couple of guys also going for position. The 22 of Sterling Marlin and the 94 of Terry Labonte. That would be for 8th spot.
That's the 22 car's in 8th. The 94 car is in 9th. Harry Gant is in 7th. Labonte gets up and almost got in the left rear of the 22 car driven by Sterling Marlin.
Marlin is having a disappointing year compared with last year. He was 10th in the standings at this point in 1991. And he's 23rd this year.
Now then, Bill Elliott, if he's a teammate of Sterling Marlin, will back off and let the 22 car go by.
Meanwhile, Ricky Rudd and Dale Earnhardt are running side by side. And this is for 4th position.
That's the 5 overtaking the 3, passing him.
Taking the long way around. Alan Kowicki is right behind Earnhardt. There you see the nose of his Hooters Ford coming into the picture.
4th, 5th, and 6th.
Now, fellas, we've been watching Bobby Hillin all day, the car number 66. He got penalized. He was held in the pits for 5 laps. NASCAR said that he bumped the 42 car that caused that last caution, so he was held in the pits for 5 laps. That break for Bobby Hillin, who had a good run going there today, but evidently either made a mistake or something happened, and he and Kyle got together.
That's the first use of the penalty box, I believe, that we have seen in 1992. So Hillin has that rather disappointing distinction.
There we see Earnhardt on the inside, Kowicki on the outside. This is up turns 3 and 4. Here comes Kowicki. He would have had to lead that time. That's for the 5th spot.
This is about the 3rd time today that he's passed Earnhardt on the outside. Earnhardt gives him plenty of run room.
He makes the pass.
Watching from the roof cam on Mark Martin's Valvoline Ford. Great shot. Now the telemetry. Up to 115 again before hitting the brakes.
7,900 RPM. Might go up a little bit higher going up the backstretch.
5th place car, Alan Kowicki. 6th, Dale Earnhardt. Here is Davey Allison, Rusty Wallace, Jeff Bodine, and Richie Rudd.
There's Davey.
His back's not hurting nearly as bad up front as it would be about 2nd and 3rd, isn't it?
No, sir. It feels a whole lot better there. If he gets past and say, well, my back was hurting, then that's why. But no, not really. I mean, he's giving it all. No question back.
Here's another Auto Light field summary. Davey Allison looking for his 2nd victory of 1992. Of course, he started the season off with a great win at the Daytona 500. Finished in the top 10 in every race until he got to Bristol last weekend when that broken oil line caused him to spin, hurt his ribs, dropped him to a 28th place finish. So if indeed he can come back and win this race, it'll be a good comeback story.
It's remarkable. There's still 14 cars in the lead lap. We've had a number of cautions, which has helped that situation. But
here's a side cam. Look at this. That's Dick Trickle out to the left, or right rather, and Brett Bodine up front.
Ooh, they are close, aren't they?
Man.
If we see some blue smoke come off these cars, we'll know they got too close. And Trickle makes the pass on the outside of Morgan Shepherd. It's Jimmy Spencer from Marley Black Gold Chevrolet on the inside of these cars.
There's Davey Allison leading this race, and the laps are winding down. 334 are now completed. At the First Union 400.
To look like you ride, you can ride.
See the full line of Honda motorcycles at Casey's Cycle City in Newport News.
Just joining us, about 3:30 Eastern Time. Don't go away. You can catch the final laps of this First Union 400 Winston Cup race. 338 of the 400 are complete. Davey Allison, the Haviland Ford car number 28, is the leader of this race. In second position is Rusty Wallace, then Jeff Bodine, Ricky Rudd, and Alan Kulwicki. We had a shower that moved over the track and caused a red flag for a while, but since then, it's been pretty sunny. And here's second place, Rusty Wallace.
What Davey Allison needs is a break. If he gets these cars racing for second place, he may be able to drive away and these cars not catch him. He needs for Jeff Bodine to catch a black 2, Rusty Wallace, the 5-car get involved in. We get a race, 3-car race going for second place. Davey Allison say, see you later.
That could be what's going to happen, because I think Bodine and Rudd have both been closing in on Rusty here in the last few laps, and I think we're going to see a 3-car battle here in just a moment.
Yeah, they have caught Rusty now. Rudd's car seems to be working a little better now than it has for a good while. In the early part of the race, he was fast. He sort of dropped back in the field, but stayed in the lead lap all day. But now look at him come off in the turns. He's showing what he showed in practice and qualifying.
We see that Rusty and those guys are gaining on Davey. If anything, Davey is not pulling away. But if he gets these guys racing, I think they'll concentrate on each other and slow down just a little bit.
Now we'll do an interval between first and second position. Davey comes off corner number 4. We'll get the interval clock going here. Oh, there's a car on the wall. We'll do it a little bit later. That's Jimmy Spencer in the Molly Black Gold, number 98, who has fun. Ooh, Davey just barely missed him, huh?
He almost turned down in front of Davey.
So this is the 9th caution of the afternoon. Jimmy Spencer.
And the 4-car has made his lap up. Ernie Irvin's passed Davey Allison. And he's made his lap up. I think he's back in the lead lap now.
Yep, second time today that he's made a lap up.
That'll give us 14 cars on the lead lap.
There's Ernie. Kodak Film Chevrolet.
Actually, he was pretty far out in front of Davey. He had pulled out there to about a half a straightaway in front of Davey, and was just sitting there riding, hoping for a caution, and sure enough, he got it.
We're getting down to nitty-gritty time now, guys. Pit stops now. You've got to make that great pit stop. Get back out on the racetrack in front of these other cars, because you may not be able to pass them. Run out of laps.
Track position is very, very important.
Here they come down pit road.
They all choose to come in.
30-mile-an-hour speed limit. Allison leads him down with Rusty right behind him.
See Rusty diving into the pits. Jeff Bodine already working on his car. Harry again up on the very top. There goes Davey. He stopped. Earnhardt. Trickle just went by the Jeff Bodine car. Right side's on. Jackson's down. Around to the left side already on Jeff Bodine's car. Here's Rusty Walter tightening the left side on his car. And down he goes. He's moving. 15's moving. Let's see, the 28's moving.
Yep.
The 28 big 2. And then Earnhardt lost. I guess he ended up about the same spot he was on the racetrack.
Yeah, he wound up in 5th place. So Davey got out first, Rusty Wallace second, Jeff Bodine third, Ricky Rudd fourth, and Earnhardt in 5th.
So we may be set up now for the end of the race as 346 laps are complete.
This is where America gets together. Every weekend throughout America, there is great NASCAR racing.
I wouldn't be anywhere else.
There's a storm brewing on ESPN. Saturday Night Thunder. ESPN Speed Week rolls in to start off a night of lightning quick action. Then it's the radical and the ruthless. And the rumble-tumble excitement of live USAC midgets and sprints. Saturday Night Thunder strikes again on ESPN.
Live pictures from the Pacific coming up right after the racing. The auto racing will have yacht racing, America's Cup variety. Kansas against stablemate A3. If Kansas wins, Stars and Stripes is in. If not, a playoff tomorrow. All of it explained right after the car racing.
All right, Jim will stand by to join you in San Diego right after completion of this race. Now, there is Joey Knuckles of Davey Allison's crew, and talk about working hard during a pit stop. Watch this.
Up with the right front tire changer. Where's his shoe? There it is.
Run right out of his shoes. He worked so hard.
Man, that's above and beyond the Call of Duty, isn't it? Just working right out of your shoes.
He's not even paying any attention.
The green flag is out, and we're back to racing here at North Wilkesboro.
Here comes Davey, his car. Joey Knuckles' car, the car he's working on changing the tires. Our leader, Rusty Wallace, right on his back bumper.
Got about 48 laps to go. Rusty closing in on Davey.
Last time he was right directly up on the back bumper. This time there's about a half a car length. I think Davey's like the old guy in the desert. He's smelling that water now. He knows Victory Lane is not far away.
That's a good comparison. I like that. It's like coming in from the cold, how your new tires feel.
Exactly.
Not far behind them, Ricky Rudd is working on the car number 15 of Jeff Bodine. There you see him going into turn 3. And here is Alan Kowicki also working on Harry Gant and Earnhardt up there.
4th, 5th, and 6th. Earnhardt, Gant, and Kowicki.
Kowicki has lost that dominance he had early on. First half of the race, car clearly the best car, the most dominant car here. Right now, he's struggling.
Yeah, the first half of the race, it was basically Kulwicki and Earnhardt. And now, in the second half of the race, it's been Allison and Rusty Wallace for the most part, with a little bit of Jeff Bodine thrown in.
And it may be that Kulwicki's car just won't run except one place on the racetrack. And once they got him back in the traffic and got him out of the position out of the front, he's not able to pass these cars on the outside. He may be able to run as well as anyone at his place on the racetrack.
Here is Rudd working on Jeff. This is for third position.
Kyle Petty's really yellow Pontiac on the inside of him. He made some contact with the third turn wall. Rudd taking a look on the inside. Can't get up there.
Another Auto Light field summary for you.
All those 10 cars in the lead lap. Brett Bodine back there in 10th place. Terry Labonte, who ran up front in the first part of the race, back to 9th. And still 14 cars on the lead lap.
Looks like the Rusty may be moving in on Davey.
He is. I think he has gained a couple of car lengths in that last lap. Remember, it's about 15 car lengths a moment ago. What's this, 10? Yeah, he is gaining on him. Rusty Wallace almost drove in the infield that time, trying to find the best way around the racetrack, the perfect groove.
Boy, the attrition here has been unbelievable. Only 2 cars officially out of the race. Several are behind the wall now. Again, Ricky Rudd and Jeff Bodine racing for third spot.
We talked about the Ford GM thing. We got a Ford, Pontiac, a Ford, a Chevrolet. Harry again goes by. Ooh, we see some contact between the 3 and the 7. As I said a moment ago, when you see that blue smoke, that's not good.
Well, Kulwicki thought the hole was going to be still open when Harry Gant went by Dale Earnhardt. He dived under there, and Earnhardt closed the hole.
And while that was going on, Ricky Rudd passed Jeff Bodine.
So that moves Rudd up into the third position now.
Third, fourth, and fifth right here. Rudd, Bodine, and Harry Gant.
And the question is, does he have enough time now to get him to the leaders? Leaders being Davey Allison and Rusty Wallace.
Right now, they're about a half a straightaway behind. There is Allison. And Rusty Wallace is second. Jerry, an update on Davey Allison, if you will.
Well, they've been asking Davey to drink as much as possible to try to control some of the cramps he's having in his leg. You know, last fall when they ran here, the crew that left this racetrack felt they were at fault for not winning the race. The Earnhardt crew and the Harry Gant crew consistently beat him out of the pits time after time after time. They came back here and they said, we're not going to let that happen today. We are going to win the battle on pit road to give our driver a chance to win the race. Thus far, as the laps wind down, they've done it.
And a very interesting graphic there. Davey has led every race so far in the 1992 season, and this is going to be a big win for him if he can come off with the checkered flag this afternoon with all of the problems physically that he's had during the past week after that crash at Bristol.
And he's got a couple of weeks to rest up if he can get through this race. No race next weekend, Easter Sunday.
We'll be at Martinsville for the next race in 2 weeks. And now Harry Gant is trying to pass Jeff Bodine.
Yeah, he's beginning to ramble a little bit, fellas. He's in 5th position, but I'm running 4th, trying to move up on him. Yeah, with that battered race car, but we've seen him run battered race cars before and still do well. That's right.
A lot more battered than that.
Martinsville last year in particular. The Goodies 500.
And behind them, it's Earnhardt and Kulwicki.
We've seen Kulwicki pass Earnhardt the last couple of times after the caution flags, but this time Kulwicki's not able to get by. Sixth place, Dale Earnhardt. 7th place, Alan Kulwicki. Alan Kulwicki was your pole sitter. He won the Unical Challenge last week at 22,800, so it's only worth 7,600 each week, so no big deal.
Pocket change.
Pocket change.
Although we won't have a Winston Cup race next Sunday, we do want to make sure you're with us next Saturday night at 7:30 Eastern Time we'll have a live Speed Week from Ventura Raceway in California prior to Saturday Night Thunder. Great race last night. Jimmy Sills won. Hope you saw it. And we'll be there live next Saturday night for Speed Week and then Saturday Night Thunder.
Tough week. He come off the fourth corner that last time and lose the back end on the car. So not handling the way it was earlier.
Now let's go back up front, see what's happening. And the interval between the two just about the same. Davey with a bit of a problem getting around Dave Marcus, and Rusty with just a tiny problem getting around Rick Mast.
Davey needs for him to catch a 71 car down in the corner. It looks like that's going to happen.
I was going to say, that looks like it could happen here in turn one. In any case, Davey continues to lead, and we will be right back with more of the First Union 400.
What makes a mountain man a mountain man? Let's find out. Must a mountain man be a big burly guy with an axe? A man of steel? Must a mountain man even be a man? Actually, the only requirement is the right beer. Smooth Busch beer or easy drinking Busch Light. So, head for the mountains and learn what makes the typical mountain man anything but.
Live pictures from the Pacific, exactly 1 minute to the start. The stablemates, A3 and Kansas hooking up. Kansas, US 28, the afterguard today. Bill Campbell, Kimo Worthington are the helmsman and the tactician respectively. Counterparts over on A3, Bill Koch and Dave Dellenbaugh. Notably absent, you got it, the most experienced helmsman in the A3 camp, Buddy Melgus. There's the starting line. This action is live. There's in the pre-start. Seconds from now, our race coverage live right after the auto racing. Here's Bob.
Bob Jenkins, Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, John Kernan, and Dr. Jerry Punch back at North Wilkesboro Speedway in North Carolina for the concluding laps of the First Union 400. 24 circuits to go. Rusty Wallace is in second position, but he's closing in again on Davey Allison, the leader.
He's closing in, but he's running out of time, and he gets a bad break. He catches a 68 car going in the corner. That's going to take a little time. Now he has to move up in front of him and go on the outside of the 16. Every move that he makes right now that's not directed forward costs him valuable time.
Our Western Auto mechanic of the race is Eddie Dickerson. Here's John Kernan.
Well, Eddie, congratulations, Western Auto mechanic of the race. You guys did a really good job today in getting Rusty in and out of the pits.
You guys right here are the mechanics of the race. The crew chief gets the credit for it when it's good and bad. All the guys, we've been practicing pit stops back at home and working 12 and 14 hours a day. So if we beat Davey or not, we feel real good about what we've done today. And this is the way we'll win a championship we can do this week. And the guys really want it bad.
It kind of looks like Rusty's catching him just a little bit. Is Rusty catching him out there?
Yeah, I think he's got a little something saved up. It's about 20 laps to go, and we're going to see what we got. I don't want to break his concentration on the radio. I'm just giving him lap times. And I just hope he can beat Davey. I'd like to wish my wife, whom I didn't get a chance on these 14-hour days, happy 40th anniversary, baby.
There's Eddie Dickerson.
40th birthday. Yeah, I'm not that old.
Yeah, he had to correct that, or else he would have been in a lot of trouble when he got home, you know it?
Man, I didn't think he'd been married for 40 years, huh?
He's also in a lot of trouble because everybody's wife's 40 years old.
Yeah. Maybe more so than being married 40 years. Well, Rusty has narrowed that gap now to just about 8 or 10 car lengths. And another battle is between the 5 car of Rudd and the 15 of Jeff Bodine.
Rudd got by, 10, 15 laps ago, but he's not able to drive away.
And Harry Gant called him, and he hasn't been able to do anything with Jeff Bodine. So there they are, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th place cars. Just can't do much with each other.
Now just 18 laps to go.
Tell you what, Rusty's going to catch the 28 car. I don't know if he's going to be able to do anything with him. But he's going to catch him, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, he's just inching in there.
I'm talking about that guy smelling the water. Also, Rusty Wallace can smell it.
But you know that Davey Allison, after all he's been through, is going to fight for all that's in him to keep the lead and come out with another victory here today. In any case, he's going to look good as far as points are concerned.
Boy, look how low Rusty keeps that Pontiac down on the inside. It's working good down there for him. He likes that group. As I said earlier, trying to find him a spot that'll work just right. And that's where he needs to keep it.
Davey Allison is running a little bit higher. That might help him in a traffic situation. If his car runs better up there, he may be able to go around the traffic a little bit better than Rusty. The first thing you got to do is catch some traffic.
Yeah.
Harry Gant and Jeff Bodine are nose to tail.
Yeah, Ricky Rudd has pulled away from them just a little bit. You can see him going out of the picture.
4th and 5th.
Dale Earnhardt is 6th. Alan Quick is 7th. There's
now the leaders are catching some traffic. That's Derek Cope direct in front of Davey Allison. It's really important. Okay, he moves up and Davey gets to the inside. Whoa! No! I thought he was going to get the inside. So did Davey.
Derek is running 14, so now 13 cars on the lead lap. And as they thread the needle between Derek Cope and Michael Waltrip, now the lead is down to about a car length and a half, Allison over Wallace.
Ted Musgrave and the Jasper engine car direct in front of Davey.
It looks like it could all come down, guys, to traffic.
If Davey makes the wrong decision, if he decides to go on the outside and Musgrave moves up, Rusty Wallace will take the lead. Or vice versa. If he goes on the inside, Rusty can bull by him on the outside.
10 laps to go. 10 to go. 390 complete. We'll leave this battle momentarily to show you some action in the back of the pack, or further back in the pack. That's Terry Labonte and Brett Bodine and Dick Trickle. And all three of these drivers have been having great runs today.
They're all on the lead lap.
9th, 10th, and 11th.
Labonte, if he can stay there, will still have another top 10 finish every race this year, top 10. If he can stay there, but both those cars passing, he's back out of the top 10.
See those yellow wheels he has on? I think it's Michael Waltrip's tires. They probably borrowed those from Michael. Fits well with that yellow on the Sunoco sign on his car.
Fits well with the blue and yellow Sunoco color scheme.
You guys keep watching this. I'll watch the leaders. If anything happens, I'll let you know.
9th, 10th, and 11th right now. Now here's back to 1st and 2nd.
Nothing's happened. Davey is still leading, and Ford's still leading. Ned, we talked about the Ford GM thing. But I think Rusty Wallace would consider this a small victory, even if he finishes second. This could be what it takes to get his season turned around and start in the right direction. These cars ran well. He's had some great pit stops.
They're coming up on some more traffic. There is Bill Elliott and Jimmy Spencer running side by side right in front of them, fellas. This could make a difference.
Less than 6 laps to go. Coming around, it'll be 5 laps.
And Rusty
bumping him
right on the back bumper. Elliott backs off. Lets the cars go on the inside. Now Spencer backs off, and they're still hung between the two cars. Look at Elliott go way up out of the way to let these guys go on. Good move, Bill.
You bet.
Real sportsmanship. Now Spencer doing the same thing. He didn't know that Elliott was going to back off out there, and they did it at the same time and about to jam them up.
Yeah. 4 more laps to go. Will it be Davey Allison or Rusty Wallace in the first Union 400? Davey Allison looking for his 15th career Winston Cup win, and Rusty Wallace looking for his 21st.
I don't think traffic's going to be a factor the remainder of the race. Bobby Hillen's up there, also Hut Strickland, but I don't think these guys will catch him before the end of the race.
Have to do Bobby Hillen will get out of the way. Sure of that.
Two more.
The Ford win streak.
Oh, look at that low line that Rusty is running. Has he been saving that?
You never know.
Has he been saving that? I'm telling you, he was right down on the grass and made up a lot of Bobby Hillin.
Here we go. Here's the last lap. The white flag is out.
Now, Hillen's going to be there where Rusty would like to be, down on the inside. He can't get down there as low as he would like to get, though.
That's right. The last time he was right down there where Hillin was.
Allison leads down the backstretch. Rusty looks to the inside in turn number 3. Will it be Allison or Wallace? Here they come off the 4th turn. It is going to be Davey Allison winning by about a car length over Rusty Wallace. Finishing 3rd was Ricky Rudd. Here comes this battle between
Labonte, Brett Bodine, and Trickle. And it's Labonte with another. Look, somebody's got in the back of Labonte's car. I saw a piece of sheet metal dragging.
That was 9th, 10th, and 11th you saw across the line there. But here is the winner of the First Union 400, Davey Allison. Here's John Kernan.
Well, Larry, good job in the pits, but what about the job for the driver? They say that these guys aren't athletes, but he certainly played hurt today.
Well, I certainly think he proved it today. You know, he started complaining around about cramps, caution with about 75 to go, and he just kept drinking liquids and kept rubbing his muscles and all, and I can't say enough for this entire Texaco Havoline team. Considering the week we've had since Bristol a week ago, I mean, it's phenomenal.
You know, with all the adversity you've had this week, it makes it that much sweeter, doesn't it?
It really does, you know, and you know, to come back here at Wilkesboro and win, you know, I won here 2 years ago with Brett. Davies had a tough time here. We started coming back and doing pretty good here last year. Considering, I want to thank Jimmy Hensley, before I forget, for helping us out, because I don't think this would have been possible without his help today. So I'm lost for words.
We'll let Larry get on up to victory lane. Bob?
Great victory by Davey Allison, and the car is on the lift, being hoisted up to victory lane here at North Wilkesboro. We'll talk to him in a moment.
Here we go again, guys. Wow, I feel good. Yeah, this guy really gets around. He's got the auto lights. American Orient Paul, we're guaranteed. I feel good. Yeah, 2 years, no matter how far he goes. That's why we've been everywhere. Vegas. I feel good. Yeah. Daytona. LA. Wherever we're going. Super! Yeah! And we're not even tired.
To fight the effects of corrosion, the body of the Buick Regal has been built with two-side galvanized steel that goes beyond what most car makers use. Beyond Honda, beyond Toyota. In fact, all Buicks are warranted against outer body rust-through for 6 years or 100,000 miles. And that's a promise you don't have to take with a grain of salt.
What does it take to be a mountain man? Do you need a big horse? Do you need a deep tan? Do you have to have a saddle? Do you have to have the gear? Well, the simple truth is you just gotta have the beer.
Busch beer, an easy drinking Busch Light. Have you got what it takes to be a mountain man?
What does it take to live a mountain man's life? Get smooth Busch beer, is a drinking Busch Light.
To demonstrate the superior color of new Kodak Gold 400 film, just open a box. It has the richest, most vivid color available in a high-speed film. New Kodak Gold 400. Fast film. True colors.
The top 5 finishers here in the First Union 400, Davey Allison, Rusty Wallace, Ricky Rudd, Jeff Bodine, and Harry Gant. Our Speed World coverage being brought to you by Valvoline. People who know use Valvoline. And by Buick and your local Buick dealer. Remember Buick, the new symbol for quality in America. Now let's go down to the Kodak Winner's Circle with Dr. Jerry Punch and Davey Allison.
Davey Allison getting his head wiped off here in the car as he is inside the race car, getting that Texaco Havoline hat on. Davey getting a deep breath. Davey, congratulations on a tremendous effort.
Thanks, Jerry. You know, it's a great race for Texaco Havoline, Thunderbird, and Texaco Havoline racing today. You know, I got to say thanks to Jimmy Hensley for coming in and practicing this car and qualifying it for us. He gave us a great starting spot. The car will work good all day. You know, he's a great race car driver, and I hope somebody out there will give him a break
give him a sponsor to run his Busch Grand National car, or maybe get him in one of these Winston Cup cars.
They say athletes play hurt. You played hurt today and came out on top. You had some cramps late in the race. They weren't sure you were going to be able to make it.
Yeah, my left leg started cramping real bad in my thigh and in my calf, and I couldn't stretch my leg out, so I couldn't rub either one of them to get them worked out. You know, I just kept mashing on the footrest down here, and it finally went away. When they threw the green flag, it was just take care of the race car and take care of myself the rest of the day. I want to say hi to my grandmother out there. I love you, Grandma. Hi to Liz and Krista and Robbie, too. Sorry I'm not coming home tonight, but I'll see y'all in a week or so.
Davey Allison, who lost Pop Allison, his grandfather, a couple weeks ago. An emotional win here. He overcomes pain and all the grief to go to victory lane for the second time in 1992. Bob?
And it's his first ever win here at North Wilkesboro, his third career short track victory. Again, the unofficial results, Allison, Wallace, Rudd, Bodine, and several guys there in the top 5 needed good finishes and got them.
I think Rusty Wallace might have got his day started. His season started today, Ned.
And Ricky Rudd as well, finishing in the top 5 there.
Once again, Terry Labonte finishes in the top 10. Brett Bodine in the 10th place. There's Trickle, Morgan Shepherd, Ernie Irvin, Cope, and Darrell Waltrip. You know, Waltrip was running good there at the end of the race.
Yep.
We got a lap down early, but hung in there. Was running good at the end of the race.
Mark Martin with a disappointing 16th, and look at Bill Elliott. Started 20th and finished in 20th position, so he came into this race second in points, is going to lose some to Harry Gant, who finished well up in the top 10. There's 21 through 25. Now 26 through 30, showing you that Kyle Petty finished in 28. Michael Waltrip with a crash 29th. Wally Dallenbach, and then Richard Petty and Jimmy Means finished 31st and 32nd. Needless to say, Davey Allison stretches his advantage over Harry Gant, who has now moved to second because of Elliott's bad race. Terry Labonte remains in 4th, and Alan Kowicki remains in 5th position in the quest for the Cup standings. 2 weeks, we will have same-day flag-to-flag coverage of the Haynes 500 from Martinsville, where Dale Earnhardt is the defending champion. That is on Monday, I should say, at 8 o'clock the 27th. Monday at 8 o'clock, we'll have flag-to-flag delayed coverage of that Winston Cup race. Our congratulations to Davey Allison and 4, Ned Jarrett and Benny Parsons. Thanks for helping me in the booth. And John Kernan and Jerry Punch, thank you for joining us. This is Bob Jenkins. So long, everyone.
It was a beautiful day starting out at the North Wilkesboro Speedway this past Sunday, where they ran the first Union 400. We'll have that for you and much more in this half hour of Inside Winston Cup Racing.
Nursing a sore shoulder and some bruised ribs, Davey Allison held off the pain and held off Rusty Wallace in the closing laps to pick up his second win of 1992. Bring all the highlights from the first Union 400 coming up.
It was a big night under the bright lights at Charlotte Motor Speedway as the Winston Cup stars rolled out for a primetime practice session preparing for the 1992 Winston. I'll have the story.
Since joining Stavola Brothers Racing prior to the Good Wrench 500, Dick Trickle has already registered 3 top 10 finishes. We'll talk to Dick and the team about their major turnaround.
Inside Winston Cup Racing is brought to you by coal-filtered Miller Genuine Draft and Miller Genuine Draft Light, taking the country by storm. Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. And by Goodyear, #1 in tires.
Genuine Draft, Bobby Ray Hall, IndyCar. This year, he's really flying.
How far can effort and energy take you? How much performance can you get out of a machine? Texaco has the answer in System 3 gasolines. System 3 helps remove harmful engine deposits in all octane grades to improve performance with the energy to run stronger, smoother, cleaner. The energy to go further.
Introducing Ford's newest car. It doesn't have a sticker price. There's no choice of colors. And it has to be driven 4 times the speed limit to be appreciated. The new Ford IndyCar. If you think our technology looks impressive here, just wait till you experience it down the road. Have you driven a Ford lately?
If you don't like the looks of your car, shoot it with Son of a Gun from STP. Shoot the dash, seats, tires, and roof. Son of a Gun protecting. Man, what a difference.
Hank Parker, Roland Martin, Gary Klein, Jimmy Houston compete in the $70,000 BP Fins game today on TNN.
All year long, we've talked about the Ford-Chevrolet battle. Well, going into the first Union 400 here at North Wilkesboro, the General Motors fans perhaps had more to look forward to than any other race this year. See, Ford had not won on this racetrack only once since 1980. Mark Martin did it in 1990. And also, Dale Earnhardt had won his last Winston Cup race here last September, so they knew it was time for him to get back on track. For all of that and the highlights of the first Union 400, let's go to Randy.
Ned, the General Motors teams did have a little to boast about prior to the first Union 400. That's because during qualifying, Ricky Rudd placed his Chevrolet on the front row. Only the second time this year a General Motors product has been on the front row for a Winston Cup race. Now on the pole for the second week in a row, the Hooters Ford of Alan Kawicki. One driver who wanted to qualify but could not, Davey Allison, after suffering injuries in the Food City 500, a race in which he crashed, he had Jimmy Hensley qualify the Haviland Star Ford Thunderbird. Now, prior to the race, we went up into Davey's trailer where he was taking some precautions to ensure that he could go the distance in the first Union 400. Jimmy Hensley's efforts prior to the first Union 400 in Davey Allison's Haviland Ford have apparently paid off. It was announced after the first Union 400 that Jimmy Hensley will now take over the driving duties in the Trop Arctic 66 Fords owned by Cale Yarborough for the remainder of the 1992 season.
Today's Winston Cup highlights are brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
After being thrown from his horse a week earlier, Davey Allison, sporting his flak jacket, climbed aboard hoping he could go the distance in the first Union 400. Pole sitter Alan Kawicki led the field of 32 off of pit road, hoping to extend his win streak to 2. Kawicki charged out front at the top of the green flag, while outside pole sitter Ricky Rudd was relegated back in the pack. For the second straight race, Richard Petty was in the wrong place at the right time. After contact with Dale Jarrett, the King headed to the garage area for repairs. Kawicki continued as the flagship Ford. He would lead all but 5 laps of the first 187. The shining General Motors machine in the early going was the Sunoco Olds of Terry Labonte, now the only driver to finish in the top 10 in all 7 starts this season. The tight turns of the 5/8 mile track took its toll, first tearing up Jimmy Spencer in turn 4. Then 50 laps later, a battle between Kyle Petty and Allison for 6th nearly cost the eventual winner. Kyle and Davey collided in turn 2, but it was Dick Trickle that couldn't get turned around and lost a lap. After a brief run at the front for Dale Earnhardt, Allen regained the advantage, taking Terry Labonte along with him, leaving Dale to battle with Wallace for 3rd. Reminiscent of 1989, they bumped and banged, this time with Earnhardt eventually giving way. The 4th caution flag of the day flew for Wally Dallenbach Jr. in turns 3 and 4. After the restart, the fans were treated to the best race for the lead all day long. Heading for the halfway mark, Earnhardt and Kawicki went door to door to determine who would win the $10,000 Gillette Halfway. It was Dale by a car length. There were 5 yellow flags in the second half. Ted Musgrave on lap 205. Then Michael Waltrip, after getting tapped by Harry Gant, nearly took out the field. It was under this caution that rain delayed the race for a short 7 minutes. The change in weather was exactly what Jeff Bodine needed, as he went to the front in his Ford for the first time this season. On the other hand, Ernie Irvin's dismal season continued with a spin on the front stretch on lap 265, making him 0 for 7 in top 10 finishes. Kyle Petty's bad luck also continued after being nudged by Bobby Hillen, sending Petty around and out of contention in turns 3 and 4. Hillen was black flagged for 5 laps. The final 50 laps were run under green, and the game came down to Rusty Wallace and Davey Allison. It was a crapshoot. Rusty rolled the dice several times, but Davey refused to fold. It was Allison at the stripe for his 15th career win. Rusty finished second. A consistent Ricky Rudd rounded out the top three.
Well, we got a great team put together. Got a bunch of guys are working real hard. We're working together good. Communication's great. I learned a lot last year about these race cars and how to drive them. And, I've been racing for 14 years, and I probably learned more last year than I've learned in all the other 13 combined. And, I think it's paying off for us right now.
Well, the NASCAR Winston Cup drivers have this weekend off. Their next race is the Haynes 500 next weekend at Martinsville, Virginia. We need to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to take a look at Dick Trickle, who is making a great comeback in NASCAR Winston Cup racing. And as we leave you for this break, here's the balance of the finishing order for the first Union 400.
Would you pay $200 for the contents of this bottle? $300? More? Every day, thousands of new car buyers do when they buy a dealer-applied paint sealant. The same professional sealant you can now apply yourself for a fraction of the price. Introducing Clear Coat Paint Sealant from Turtle Wax. New Clear Coat Paint Sealant is a high-tech, Teflon-enriched sealant that chemically bonds to your car's finish to help seal out ultraviolet rays, acid rain, and grime, while safely sealing in the showroom shine. 12 full months of protection absolutely guaranteed. Your car not so new? New Clear Coat Paint Sealant cleans off oxidation, shines, and seals in a just polished look for a full 12 months. The same high-tech protection available for hundreds of dollars from professional car appearance detailers for a fraction of the price. So spend hundreds with them or save hundreds with this. New Clear Coat Paint Sealant from Turtle Wax. Get new Clear Coat Paint Sealant now at these stores.
There's a song for you in Tennessee.
So won't you come and join us? Come on and sing along. In Tennessee, we're playing your song.
Come to Tennessee, we're playing your song.
For your free vacation guide, call 1-800-682-2000.
Will our new Lightning blade actually make your job as easy as this?
Well, Lightning stays sharp longer, cuts easier than the blade you're using, or your money back.
Sunday, live on TNN Motorsports. Last year, former ASA All-Star Darrell Waltrip came home to his old stomping ground. But it was no Sunday drive in the country. 91 champ Mike Eddy gave him a run for the money, while Bob Seneca fought tooth and nail to the bitter end. But in 1992, it's once again anyone's race. Live from Nashville, the ASA AC Delco Challenge Series. Parts Plus 250. Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern live. Only on TNN Motorsports.
Trickle was one of the winningest drivers in all of auto racing before he came on the scene in NASCAR Winston Cup racing back in 1989. Now, he won Rookie of the Year honors that year and then got in the K.O. Yarborough car in 1990, but then in 91 he was let go from that car, so he was sort of on the sidelines again, but he kept his faith and he kept his face in the crowd, which was very important. He's back now. Randy had an opportunity to sit down and talk to him while we were here at North Wilkesboro.
After making infrequent appearances in Winston Cup racing from 1970 through 1986, ASA Racing standout Dick Trickle stormed onto the circuit full-time in 1989. Trickle took over the driving duties of the Stavola Brothers Buicks because of injuries that ended the careers of preceding drivers Bobby Allison and Mike Alexander. At 48 years old, Trickle went on to become that season's Rookie of the Year, subsequently becoming the oldest driver to ever win that title. The Wisconsin native then moved over to pilot the Trop Arctic machines of Cale Yarborough in 1990. But with little success, just 4 races into 1991, Trickle was taken out of the lineup and replaced by Lake Speed. He spent much of the rest of the 1991 season on the sidelines, hoping he'd get another chance to show that his abilities that gained him over 1,000 short track wins would also make him a winner on the Winston Cup circuit.
It's been a roller coaster, you might say. You know, the deal where I come on strong as Rookie of the Year and, you know, it looked like I had a lot going for me and went on with Cale, and which was, I figured a good shot, and that soured on us and, you know, got knocked back to the ground, kicked around a little bit, but I stayed right in there and dug, and, you know, a lot of desire and determination, and, you know, I feel in 1 year I'm back where I was to better, you know, and, you know, being with the Stavola Brothers, I think I got my best chance to win a race I've ever had.
Throughout 1991, Trickle never lost a faith, picking up rides with the now defunct Team 3 organization, recording 1 top 10 finish and 6 starts, and tried to take the low-budget Ken Allen car to the front on more than one occasion. Even when he wasn't driving, Dick was determined that a deal would come along.
I knew I'd be back in a good car, and until then I'd be, you know, riding whatever I could and just staying on the scene. But, you know, I never lost faith in myself because I know I'm as good a driver as I've ever been, and, you know, I thought I was a pretty good driver in the past.
When the 1992 season approached, things still looked bleak for Trickle. That all changed when he drove the Raymock entry to a top 5 in the Daytona 500. But Dick doesn't base his new lease on life on just one race.
I feel the ride ahead, whether it's in the Ken Allen car or the Martin car in the Busch or the Cotter's car in the Busch races or a little bit of run team for the Team 3 car, you know, and of course the 75 car Daytona. I think the combination of them all kind of proved I had desire and kind of proved that, you know, I could do it because I took cars that normally wouldn't show too good and brought them up in the top 10 and even the top 5 at times.
So that was a great Daytona 500. That really maybe was in itself the key this year. If you hadn't had that or got that opportunity, you think you could still be sitting?
Oh, I felt there was going to be some seats open this year, you know, sometime. I didn't feel they were going to happen this early in the year, but I thought sometime between mid-season, I figured there were going to be some available rides, and I couldn't believe that the Tuesday after Daytona I already got a call. And I think a lot of that's to do with back in '89 over the Stavola Brothers with great success. You know, we won the Rookie of the Year and finished 15th in points, and, you know, just never did burn any bridges. You know, the Stavolas were real good to work for. They did what they said and said what they did, and I did the same thing. So therefore we look back, and when the Stavolas called, they look back, and the best year they had was when they had me in '89. They says, why haven't we got him in the car now? And it's time. You know.
Well, Dick brings a lot of experience to the team, and we feel with the guys that we put together right now that we can go to the front and be competitive on the circuit.
Like Trickle, the Stavola brothers have had their ups and downs. Once a 2-car operation that shared the joy of winning races, including the 1988 Daytona 500 with Bobby Allison and the '86 Talladega 500 with Bobby Hillen. But during the 1991 season, the team failed to finish in the top 10 with driver Rick Wilson. It was then that the Stavola brothers decided to make some major changes, and it wasn't just the driver. The decision to having to go to the Fords, is that something you guys had to do?
We felt we needed a change. Buick was dropping out, and you know, we had to go somewhere, and we thought Ford was our best bet.
You know, we changed car manufacturers, we changed a lot of people, employee-wise and all that. And you know, when I sat down with Billy back in last June, you know, we sat down, made a commitment to each other to get this thing turned around, whatever we had to do. So it looks like, you know, through all the steps that we made the right ones, and you know, now it's starting to come together, and we're looking real good at it.
With the new combination of cars, crew members, and the consummate driver in Dick Trickle, the Stavola brothers are finally showing results on the track. And for Trickle, he'd gladly trade his 1,200 wins for just one Winston Cup checkered flag.
So I've won over 1,000 races. Until I win my first Winston Cup race, I haven't won any here. So my chore now and my number one priority is to win a Winston Cup race. Because once you win that first one, they'll start coming.
One thing Dick Trickle has never lacked, and that is confidence, and it takes that for any athlete in any sport. I think that man has a lot to do in this sport yet before his career is over. We need to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to take a look at the biggest lighting project in the world. They finally turned the lights on at the Charlotte Motor Speedway this past week. And as we leave you for this break, here's this week's Haviland Track Talk.
This edition of Track Talk is brought to you by Haviland. Add more life to your car.
For years, the stopwatch has been one of the most useful tools a Winston Cup team could have. But nowadays, there are more and more teams logging laps on computer. It's a way to keep track of not only your car, but everyone else's as well.
Well, when we're practicing to get ready for qualifying, what we do is we set it up to where it'll do segment times on the track. We'll catch the first turn time, second turn, back stretch, third, fourth, and front stretch. That way we can see if we're off the pace a little bit, we can see where we're having trouble. Maybe we're losing time going in the turns or coming off or whatever like that. Then after we've got our qualifying done and we're in the race, then we'll work on just trying to time as many cars as possible. It's set up so that we can time up to 10 cars at one time. My fingers aren't that fast, but you can get several. So it takes the place of several stopwatches, actually.
What about this stuff down here? Can you get a reading out later or print out for Greg?
Yeah, as you're collecting all this data, I try to make notes as I go along on paper, and I give that to them later. But then after the practice session or qualifying session is over, you can print out all the data that you've collected all in one sheet of paper.
Today, performance cars come in a variety of designs, sizes, and even prices. So do Goodyear Eagles, the world's most successful line of performance tires. There are all-season Goodyear Eagles, new ultra-performance Goodyear Eagles. There are Goodyear Eagles for the classic and for the contemporary. No matter what performance car you own, there's a Goodyear Eagle priced for you. It's another reason we say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
Miller Genuine Draft Bobby Ray Hall IndyCar. This year, he's ready flying.
He grew up, like his father, with a fascination for racing and an understanding that winners must be thorough. That's why Michael Andretti chooses the complete protection of Haviland Formula 3 motor oil to fight heat stress, starting friction, and engine dirt. For Michael, Haviland's been part of growing up. Of course, some kids grow up faster than others. Haviland Formula 3.
My left foot was killing me. It was just itching between the toes. Burning and itching.
We're talking with Todd Adams about Triple Action Gold Bond medicated powder.
I would apply Gold Bond medicated powder in between the toes, and it stops the pain instantly.
Gold Bond's Triple Action is the absorbing action of powder, the medicating action of a proven itch fighter, and the drying action of zinc oxide.
Gold Bond powder. That's the difference between a good day and a bad day.
Try Triple Action Gold Bond medicated powder.
He is the hands on the clock of country music, and tonight we're going to find out what makes that man tick.
The man of the hour is Ralph Emery, when rock and roll's own host with the most, Dick Clark, asks the questions. Ralph Emery on the record, Monday.
After being rained out earlier in the year, the Mountain Dew 500 will finally get the green flag at the historical Hickory Speedway. We'll have the highlights.
Veteran Tommy Houston is the only driver to start every Busch Grand National race. After 10 years and more than 300 consecutive starts, Houston is still going strong, hoping to stretch his streak, race against his sons, and win his first Busch Grand National Championship. You'll meet him.
The first 7 races of the 1992 Winston Cup schedule have been dominated by just a few. We'll talk to drivers that have had some ups, some that have had some downs, as we recap the first quarter.
They said it couldn't be done. You couldn't light a sporting facility as big as the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Well, that's just the kind of a challenge that Humpy Wheeler, who is the president of the Charlotte Motor Speedway, wanted. He went to work, worked with engineers, and put in a lighting system. They turned them on this past week as most of the drivers who were eligible for the Winston that'll be run on May the 16th were there for that first practice session, and so was our Bill Weber.
More than a dozen Winston Cup teams rolled into Charlotte Motor Speedway Wednesday for the first true test of the track's new lights. The Iowa-based Musco Lighting Company didn't just find a way to light the Speedway, they invented one. The unique ingredient in the recipe to light this racetrack was the Speedway's restriction on light poles in the infield. CMS wanted another primetime event to have a positive reflection on racing. Musco solved one lighting riddle with mirrors. I'm over here, Harry. Around the inside of the track, they've used more than 2 miles of mirrors.
This could well change the way a lot of things are lit for many years to come. Roadway lighting, all kinds of sports lighting, building lighting, sign lighting. It's a new technology that's, after we figured it out, we've been at this for 20 years, and after we figured it out, we kind of scratch our head and think, how does it take 20 years to recognize that you can do this?
So with 56 poles, 1,200 lights, 1,700 mirrors, and 2 million watts of power per hour, super speedway action prepared to race into the past.
Well, you know, Bruton Smith and I, Bruton is the owner, and we start off the same way, operating little dirt racetracks on Friday and Saturday night. So it was a natural progression to do this. And there's 950 speedways in the United States, and about 875 of them run on Friday or Saturday night. So why should we be any different? We just happen to be a little bigger than some of them.
Bruton Smith was the first to bring out the caution flag when the Speedway's opening night sizzle fizzled.
That didn't work.
But the rest of the night was virtually flawless. The lights beamed, cars gleamed. It was a promoter's dream, and a good review from every team.
I love it. I don't have no problem at all with it. The only problem a little bit I had was when the lights on the inside, when you go past them, it's like they're kind of flashing at you because you're passing each segment of lights, and it creates a little bit of a strobe effect on the very left side of your head. And so you just put your hand up a little bit going down the straightaway and it goes away. So I'm going to put a little piece of tape on there, and that should do it.
Oh, it's fantastic. This is going to be that's going to be really a crowd pleaser. I think the people are going to love this. The cars look so they're so brilliant with all the light on them, and it's an overkill for lights. I mean, there's tons and tons of lights, everything. I mean, you can see a cigarette butt laid up in the middle of the corner.
With the Winston a month away, crews worked to attack the track under nighttime conditions. The evening sparkled with enthusiasm and excitement, and Kyle Petty found the solution to any potential lighting problems.
We had to get our light. Can you see my face?
Is that the most valuable piece of equipment here, Kyle? Is that the most valuable piece of equipment?
A flashlight is the most valuable piece in the garage area because this is the darkest place on the racetrack.
You know, I grew up racing on the lights. All the racing I did in my young days was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights. We never raced in the afternoon. It's too hot. So Winston Cup racing was the first time I ever did in the afternoon racing. I like this. It's a neat environment, you know. It kind of reminds you of being back in Nashville on a Saturday night.
Today's mailbox brought to you by Miller Genuine Draft.
Our question today is from Deanna Miller from Franklin, Tennessee, the home of Darrell Waltrip. Deanna writes, besides driving from race to race with the cars and all the equipment, what other responsibilities do the truck drivers have? Well, Deanna, we'll get a truck driver to answer that for you. He's Richard Bostic, who drives the truck that hauls the Mellow Yellow Pontiacs that Kyle Petty drives.
Well, thanks for writing in, Deanna. Besides driving the truck from race to race, I'm responsible for charging the radios, getting food for the crew members, keeping the truck clean. I'm also the gas man on the car on Sunday, and just a little odds and ends, whatever comes up. So basically, you know, you just jack of all trades and a master of none. Thanks for writing in.
If you have any race questions, you can write to us at Inside Winston Cup Racing, Box 240-417, Charlotte 28224. If we use your question on the air, you'll receive this embroidered Miller Genuine Draft jacket free. Fans 21 and under will receive an IWCR cap and T-shirt.
Well, our time's up for today. Hope you enjoyed the show. You be sure to be with us here next week on TNN for more on Inside Winston Cup Racing. We'll have highlights of the Busch Grand Nationals from Hickory, North Carolina. See you then.
Inside Winston Cup Racing has been brought to you by coal-filtered Miller Genuine Draft and Miller Genuine Draft Light, taking the country by storm. And by Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car.
The $70,000 BP Fins game today on TNN. On the season premiere of the Texas Connection, Jerry Jeff Walker celebrates his second time around as host with a little help from some top Nashville songwriters.
Well, I'm gone down to Austin, Texas. I'm gone down to save my soul. Say what needs saying, 'cause we're only here for a little while. Like dancing naked.
The Texas Connection special, tonight at 7 Eastern on TNN.
Al, our special guest is Ricky Staggs.
Hi, Katie. Hey, Al.
Ricky, I have a question for you.
Okay.
I have been practicing on my guitar, and I want to go all the way to the Grand Ole Opry. What's the best way?
Al, in your case, I'd say you need to get an Opryland USA passport.
Really?
Yes, sir.
It's a great deal, Al. For just $69.95, you get all the Opryland USA attractions, and that's a 20% savings. And it includes a matinee performance at the Grand Ole Opry.
Plus 3 days of rides and shows and fun at Opryland Theme Park.
You get a reserved seat for a country star concert in the park.
A ticket to Nashville Now.
And a day cruise on the General Jackson Showboat.
And a Grand Ole Opry sightseeing tour of Nashville.
That sounds like the best country music vacation value in the country.
It is.
And if you want to get your Opryland USA passport, just have your credit card handy and call 615-889-6611.
Ricky, I really want to know, what's the best way to perform on the Opry?
Well, Al, in your case, practice. Lots of practice. Don't you think so?
Please.
And tune that guitar.
Hey! Has anybody seen any of them Winston Cup guys? You know, Harry Gant always runs good here. Where's he at?
There's the trail. Wonder where Harry's at.
Yeah, where are those guys? I don't know, some people said Harry Gant was putting on another roof of a house. Maybe he's finishing that subdivision up that he started.
Somebody looking for us? I guess they couldn't hang and needed a week off.
Well, you know what they say, when the going gets tough.
Welcome to Martinsville, Virginia, nestled in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains, the nation's most beautiful speedway. Plays host today to some of the nation's toughest competition. NASCAR's Busch Grand National Series makes up 1/3 of racing's wildest triple headers, along with the late model sportsman and the Winston Modified Tour. Hello, everybody. I'm Mike Joy, and welcome to Martinsville for the first real Busch Grand National race of the season. By that, I mean we're back on the short tracks where this series has its roots. And it's, for the most part, the Busch Grand National regulars will be in the spotlight today. With me is Neil Bonnet. And Neil, a couple weeks ago at Rockingham, we were chiding all those folks up north that we had the great weather and they didn't. Well, this morning it has snowed, it has sleeted, it has hailed a little bit, and right now we got an umbrella up for a sprinkle and the sun is out. You ever seen anything like it?
I tell you what, I've been rained out before. This is the first time it's tried to snow, but thank goodness it's going away and the sun's coming out right now, Mike. Looks good.
Well, what a season we're having so far. 4 races, a bunch of different faces, and it's great competition.
I tell you what, you know, the Busch guys, the parity is here. It was always been like that in Winston Cup racing, and now they have it in the Busch ranks. Any of the guys here have a potential chance to win the race, and that's very rare in a series this tough.
Well, it has been a season of surprises. Different winners, Jeff Gordon's 3 straight poles. One of the surprises here is that he is not on the pole, and a new name rises to the forefront. Let's go to Glenn Jarrett on the grid.
Well, Ricky Craven is the defending 1991 Busch Grand National North champion. Rick, you've beat these guys on your turf. Got her on the pole here. Can you beat them here today?
Well, we certainly can. It's just a matter of a lot of different scenarios. You know, fuel mileage was an issue and tire wear and now Mother Nature. But as far as I'm concerned, this is a 101-lap race here for right now. The weather doesn't look real great, but we're going to get it in.
All right, what's the key to winning here at Martinsville? You've got some experience on this track. What's it going to take?
Well, being a little conservative with the tires, and I've worked hard for 2 years to do that, and I think we're in pretty good shape. We ran a 35-lap sprint yesterday and a 25-lap sprint in the afternoon, and the J&J race and DuPont Chevrolet ran very well in those 2 runs. Tire wear was great. It's up to me now.
Okay, he seems to be ready. I'm cold, so let's go back upstairs to Mike Joy.
Ricky Craven, he's a new name down south, but he's the Busch North champion. Going to have a good run there.
I'll tell you what, he should be used to this weather. He might have brought the snow with him, Mike.
If he didn't, maybe we did. I don't know. We'll see who catches the blame for that. As we're ready to go racing here at Martinsville. TNN Motorsports exclusive live coverage of the Miller Genuine Draft 500 is being brought to you by Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. And by Miller Genuine Draft. Get out of the old and get into the cold. We'll be back to the Martinsville Speedway where the Busch Grand National cars are getting ready to roll right after these messages.
Last year, Davey Allison added something new to his car. It wasn't wider tires or a slicker shape. It was the same Haviland Formula 3 motor oil you can buy, straight off the shelf, to add more life to your car with complete protection against heat stress, starting friction, and engine dirt. Now, we're not saying it was Haviland Formula 3 that gave Davey the energy to lead more major NASCAR races than anyone last year and win this year's Daytona 500. But we're not saying it wasn't.
Just got back today. Them wild-eyed boys that have been away. The boys are back in town. Boys are back in town.
The Miller Genuine Draft Rusty Wallace stock car is back in town. So you better hold on.
Spread the word around. Guess who's back in town?
Honey, I got a new tractor.
Obsolescence.
Honey, I got a new tractor.
It's the fact of life that says nothing lives forever.
Honey, I got a new tractor.
At Cub Cadet, we put a lot of time into our products.
Honey, I got a new tractor.
So you'll get a lot of time out of them.
Honey.
You can accept obsolescence.
Honey.
Or you can fight it.
You got a
Cub Cadet. Working overtime.
I like a really big, round burger.
And I like them really, really thick.
You're gonna have a baseball.
Smells come up and the juices drip down. I can almost hear it.
By the sound, just by the sound, then I know it's ready.
Whoa.
Wait,
It's not done.
done. Now it's done.
No, it's done.
A1. It's how burgers are.
Perfect.
Done.
Hello there, I'm Lori Ann Crook.
I'm Charlie Chase. This week on Crook and Chase, Priscilla Presley talks about the new Elvis special.
And our guests include Joe Diffie and the legendary Don Williams. It's all this week.
On Crook and Chase Live.
Welcome back to Martinsville, Virginia. One of the neatest things about the Busch Series this year so far is that we've achieved parity of sorts. Winston Cup drivers have won 2 of the 4 races to date. Dale Earnhardt and Harry Gant at Richmond. But Busch Grand National regulars have won 2 super speedway races. Ward Burton at Rockingham, and just last week, Jeff Gordon at Atlanta, and that's been kind of a surprise.
Mike, I think the biggest surprise of all, it's nothing unusual for a Busch guy to win a race, the Winston Cup guys to win, but the Busch guys to win on the super speedways. That's the key. And talking about super speedways, let's see Jeff Gordon last week at Atlanta with Mike Joy with a Haviland update.
Last week, the Busch Grand National Series came to Atlanta Motor Speedway for the first time, where 20-year-old Jeff Gordon started on the pole for the 3rd time in a row. On lap 67, though, Gordon coasted into the pits out of fuel. Someone miscalculated the gas consumption. Luckily, he stayed on the lead lap. It wasn't a good day for defending Busch champ Bobby Labonte, who eventually finished 25th. Nor was it a great day for former series standout Rick Mast, who had this spin. Gordon took the lead on lap 162, passing Davey Allison and finally Dale Jarrett to hold on to the checkered flag and win his first ever Busch Grand National race. The Winston Cup drivers have just about been shuffled out of the top 5 in the point standings. Kenny Wallace leads now by 13. Jeff Gordon 14 points ahead of Davey Allison. Then Steve Grissom and Ward Burton to complete the top 5. And Neil, that's a big change from what we'd usually have at this point of the season. After a couple of super speedway races, you'd have Earnhardt and Gant, Kenny Schrader, maybe a few of those guys up in the top of the points, and they're just about out of there.
Yeah, it usually takes those guys not being at the race for the Busch guys to break away from them. They drove away from them on the racetrack, so they've got the thing under control right now.
Okay, track drying efforts here are almost complete at Martinsville Speedway. We'll be right back after these messages.
Over 1 million people each week walk into AutoZone, and taking care of them means having what they need when they need it. That means stocking a lot of parts for a lot of cars. Now, nobody can stock everything, but we stock more than most. And how do we know which ones to carry? That's easy. We listen to our customers, because nobody knows better about what you want than you. So the next time you walk through that door, you might think of yourself as a customer, but we think of you as the boss.
Introducing tire foam from Armor All. One spray, and even old tires look great. Kind of makes you wish we made car foam, doesn't it? New tire foam from Armor All. Just spray, walk away.
Get this close to the thrill of real life on the Discovery Channel. It's your world.
On the surface, it's a perfect neighborhood. Everything's so well maintained. But beneath the surface, there could be trouble brewing in the septic system. Ask anyone who's had a backup. Better to maintain your system. Regular maintenance, including Rid-X, helps keep your septic system free-flowing and helps prevent backup. Look beneath the surface. Use Rid-X once a month.
Rid-X wants you to have this free booklet of easy septic system maintenance tips and helpful information. Just call 1-800-944-RID-X. 1-800-944-RID-X.
We're just about set to go racing here in Martinsville, Virginia. There's just a few vehicles out on the track, and the inside lanes are a little bit damp. Now they are going to bring the field around. You're looking at the back straightaway where they're pitted, or where they're lined up and gridded, rather. They're going to bring them around to the front stretch and perhaps run a few extra pace laps to get some heat into this racing surface. We've had a bit of rain this morning, but we are ready to go racing. One of the stories of last week's race at Atlanta was a grinding crash that involved a number of drivers, Busch Grand National and Winston Cup regulars alike. And among the injuries sustained, perhaps the most serious was a cracked sternum to Ward Burton. Here's the remains of his automobile. And here's a look at the protective device that he's going to wear around his rib cage. Now, it's not a crack, it's not a through crack, it's what they call a non-dislocated fracture of the sternum, a kind of a minor crack, and he'll wear that on his chest to protect that area today, wear that underneath his driver's suit as he competes and tries to hold his position in the top 5 in the Busch Grand National point standings, to hold that sternum together to prevent that small crack from expanding any further. Rather painful injury, and a fellow who knows well how that feels, and who also has had a hand in designing some brand new safety equipment as of a couple of years ago to cope with just that kind of problem, is Neil Bonnet. Neil?
Thank you, Mike. About 3 years ago at Dover, Delaware, I had the same injury that Jeff Burton had. I broke my sternum in the center. What happens with these big 3-inch safety belts, when you have an accident and a sudden stop, as you fly forward, you try to come between the belts. Your chest actually tries to explode out between the belts. This new design here, that's called a sternum belt. It's a center belt that snaps like this. In turn, when you have an accident, it holds the two belts together. Hopefully that will keep that injury from happening, your chest trying to fly between there. Bill Simpson is working with these guys. A guy like Jeff Burton, a small guy, when he pulls the belts up, they're up high on him. They're designing these belts to work with different sized people. Hopefully this device will prevent some of those injuries. Let's go down the pits with Glenn Jarrett.
Well, here's the guy that we saw have that terrible crash in Atlanta. Ward, how does it feel once you get going?
Well, really, once I get going, Mr. Jarrett, of course, I get my adrenaline flowing. I'm paying attention to what I'm doing. I feel okay. I got a protector right here that is made out of fiberglass. I think you can see the very top of it right here. That's hopefully, if I do hit something again, it'll disproportion some of the energy, but we've just been a victim of circumstance the last 2 weeks, and let's hope we can turn our show around this weekend.
Well, another thing you want to turn around is the short track situation. Haven't run quite as well on short tracks as you thought you'd be able to.
No, we really haven't. We're a little bit behind on getting some of our cars done. Most of the people qualifying up front and running up front these short tracks are running the new snouts that Laughlin and some other designs are made, and we got some of those cars in the shop, but we just haven't been able to complete them, but we'll catch up.
Okay, I like this guy. He calls me Mr. Jarrett.
And so few of us do. We'll bring you complete coverage of the Busch Grand National portion of the Miller 500 here at Martinsville right after these messages.
You know that ultraviolet rays can damage your skin, but did you know that UV rays also crack and fade your car's vinyl, leather, rubber, and plastics? Introducing Rand's UV99. UV99 is a sunblock for your car's vinyl top, dash, seats, and tires. UV99 blocks over 99% of those damaging UV rays. Armor All, just 18%? Not even close. New UV99. It's sunblock for your car.
Ghostly odors popping up to haunt your home? Get into the spirit of the islands with new Love My Carpet Tropical Blossoms. It'll help you get rid of unpleasant odors while the scent of a tropical garden fills the room. Try new Love My Carpet Tropical Blossoms and get into the spirit.
Voting for the TNN Music City News Country Awards is going on now. Today's category is Instrumentalist of the Year. Keep watching TNN for details.
Today, live on TNN Motorsports,
It's the rain delay makeup running of the Mountain Dew 500, and your fave BGN drivers will be there. Plus, Ernie Irvan, 91 defending champ Bobby Labonte, 5-time Winston Cup winner Dale Earnhardt, and...
Hi, this is Darrell Waltrip, and I'll see you at Hickory.
The green flag drops at 4 Eastern. Don't miss the Mountain Dew 500 today, live. 4 p.m. Eastern only on TNN Motorsports.
There's only one place on Earth, one place where you'll find laughs and thrills and great music for every member of your family. Opryland, USA. For all we have to see and do, call today. There's one place in America, and only one place, whose name means country music, where country music stars can be seen on Nashville Now, the Grand Ole Opry, and all summer long in a beautiful theme park that entertains the whole family. The place, Opryland, USA. For all we have to see and do, call today.
We're back at Martinsville Speedway. Mike Joy with Neil Bonnet and Glenn Jarrett. Let's look at the starting grid for this race. Ricky Craven and Tracy Leslie on the front row. Bobby Labonte and Jim Bound had a good run to line up in row number 2. In row 3, Steve Grissom up in the top 5 in points, and Jack Sprague. There's Todd Bodine and Bobby Dotter back in the 5th row. In the 5th row, we'll look for Butch Miller and Tommy Houston. In row 6, Jimmy Hensley and Tommy Ellis. Joe Nemechek qualified 13th next to Jeff Burton there. Then you see Kenny Wallace and Robert Presley row 8. Tom Peck and Ed Ferree in row 9. Mike Wallace and Clifford Allison in 10. Dave Resendiz and Chuck Bound row 11. Richard Lassiter also won, and Mike Porter, Ward Burton, Elton Sawyer, and then Jeff Gordon way back in 27. Troy Beebe and Steve Boley in the Jack Ingram car make up the 29-car field, one shy of the entry list. 30 spots were available, 29 cars showed. Green flag from Carl Simmons, and we're underway for 200 laps here at Martinsville. Not much jostling here on the start, Neil.
Mike, these guys, the key right here is get yourself over on the inside lane. That nobody wants to run that outside early. You'll see everybody try to get to that inside line as quick as possible.
That white car top of the screen is Jim Bound, and he is bound up in the top lane. Now drops in line in 4th position. Steve Grissom coming up the inside lane for 5th against Jack Sprague. There they are, side by side. Sprague on the outside, right corner of your screen. And Grissom just roots him out to get the spot. Up front, it is Ricky Craven. They're the front four, and they've broken away because of that fracas right behind. Look at them.
Got them stacked in there deep. That's the brand of racing we'll see all day here at Martinsville. Big packs of cars.
Bobby Dotter is the yellow car, 08. Todd Bodine right behind him. Tommy Ellis coming up the outside fast in number 14, a former winner here. There's Ellis. Dropping in behind Dotter. Up front, challenge for second spot. Bobby Labonte on the inside in 44. Tracy Leslie up high.